Welcome back. It's a new episode of the Peak Signing Agents podcast and YouTube channel. I'm your host, DVO Derek Van Alten, and I'm here to help you become the best notary and signing agent that you can possibly be. And I don't want you only to just win in the notary world and only in the business world, but I also want you to win with your money. So I'm going to talk about not getting into debt to get into this business. Maybe you're thinking about it. Maybe you're brand new and you're thinking, I have to do all these things. I have to get a mobile office and buy top of the line things. Or maybe you're just thinking it's time to upgrade in certain things. I just want to encourage you to be a successful business person and cash flow as best you can. And I think in this business, there is absolutely no reason to go in debt. I believe you can cash flow this business as a notary and signing agent. And that's what I want to talk about, because you hear the old cliche, to be in business, you have to pay money. It's a startup cost, right? You have to basically spend money to make money. Yeah, there's degrees to that though. Okay, yes, you have to spend some money to make some money, right? I had to become Fidelity approved. I had to buy a lot of different insurance and upgrades. That costs money. But you want to do things that are going to be profitable, that give you a return on your investment. ROI. You want a return on investment. On this episode, I want to share with you when I first started what I did, where I bought my supplies, and then where I am today, which is a little different. Well, it's much different from when I started. When I first started, I bought a secondhand printer, all right, dual tray printer. I bought it secondhand, and it worked just fine. And that's what I started with. I saved a couple $100, maybe like $150 I saved on a secondhand printer. And that worked fine. I was buying aftermarket toner and drums. Here's a little hint. I still do. I buy aftermarket. I do not buy branded toner or drums. I know they say it can wear out your warranty, but my goal was to go through this equipment pretty quick and use as much as I can. So I'm going to outlive the warranty and put my machines to death before that anyway. And I would go to the dollar store and buy a lot of my supplies. Clipboards, still buy clipboards from there. Paper clips, binder clips, still buy my stuff from there. Actually, I still find it cheaper when I price it out. I'll go to Amazon, Staples discounts, Office Depot. Still find sometimes better deals at the dollar store. That's where I buy some of my stuff. Rubber bands. Sometimes I'll get those things at FedEx. When I would go drop off my documents at FedEx, they had a bunch of paper clips and rubber bands there. I would just take pinches of it at a time and use those. That's what I would do. And I would buy my pens from the dollar store. In fact, I still use. I don't have them on. I was looking if I had them. Those blue Bic pens. They're 10, 15 cents each. Still use those. People still steal my pens all the time. I'm not leaving my really nice pens with random people signing documents. Still use. I just bought a box of pens from Amazon for $7, and there's 100 pens in there. Something like that. All right, really cheap. I just bought my notary bag. Just do whatever you need to get with a notary bag. You don't need to buy a Louis Vuitton notary bag. Okay? You don't need really nice, super fancy gel pens when you start off. You don't need those things. You can keep it simple. When you start off, then you start making money. And then you might do some upgrades. I would buy my store at the box stores, the club stores, I mean. Sam's Club, Costco, I still find it as some of the better options to buy my paper. And I'll just buy it online and they just come deliver it into my car when I pull up. Because it can be heavy, And so those are just some things that I did. You do not need to go into debt. You do not need to get a business credit card, in my opinion. I know scanners can be expensive. Work your way up. I didn't buy a scanner right away. I already had an at-home all-in-one printer and scanner. It's super slow, but I would try to go find, you know, secondhand used scanners and printers to start off with, just to get it going, just to start making money, and then buy the upgrade, then get things that make sense. I'm recording the back of my mobile office. I did not get a mobile office in the beginning. I only started doing it when it made sense. Okay, I'm super busy. I'm always asked for scans. I'm always asked to print last minute closings. I'm getting documents at the last minute. So you know what? Now I need to invest in a mobile office. But see here the key word. I didn't say I went and got one. I said I invested in it because I expected a return on my investment. This mobile office has paid for itself many times over. I recently just had to buy a new laptop because I'm so busy. I work out of the back here. So I'm always pulling over. I'm always working. I'm doing remote online notarizations. I'm doing schedulings. I'm answering questions, answering emails. So I'm doing a lot of stuff in the back while I'm out doing closings or marketing or networking events. And I come back here and I work. And so I just was meeting somebody and they said, "Are you just using a hotspot in your mobile office?" I said, "That's how I started. Now I always have an internet connection in my mobile office at all times. I always have internet in here now. And I don't have to worry about my using a hotspot on my device. Now I do things for convenience. So I just bought a new computer. Okay? New computer. $1,500 brand new. For some people, they're thinking, oh my goodness, that's a lot of money. You don't have to buy that computer when you're first starting off, right? You buy what makes sense. You buy what you can afford. I can afford a $1,500 computer. In just one day, doing remote online notarizations, in one day I've paid for that computer in one day. And I'll use that for many years. See, there's a big return on my investment for that. This mobile office has given me a huge return on my investment. I've made tens of thousands of dollars because I have this mobile office. I'm able to print, scan, pick up last minute closings. I'm able to do signings back here. People say, you know what, we can't do, it's a difficult situation, so we're going to send our mobile notary out to you in his van. But I purchased things knowing there's going to be a return on my investments. I've also made purchases because of the convenience. Yes, I have a really nice bag now. It's for the convenience, but it's all in terms of what you're making, right? It has to be in alignment. You can't buy really expensive things if you're not making a lot of money. If you're making a little bit of money, then you go to the dollar store and you buy your tools there. Pens. I love pens. I always carry a pen in my pocket at all times. I never know what I'm going to sign or what it is, so I always carry a pen. And I want a nice experience. So I have really nice pens that cost, it'd blow your mind how much money I've spent on pens. Like my most expensive pen, you shit yourself if you found out how much I paid for it, okay? But it brings me joy and happiness, and I use it all the time. And in alignment with my income, it's very minimal, okay, with alignment. But that's all in steps, right? I bought that pen last year. My most expensive pen that I own. I bought that last year. I've made tens of thousands of dollars every month for years now. And now I just spent a good amount of money on a really nice pen that I use all the time. It's in my pocket right now as we speak. But there's levels to it. Okay, there's levels to business. That's what I want you to know. Yes, you have to make money. You have to spend money to make money. Yes, I agree with that. But in alignment, you do not have to go and buy a $1,500 computer starting off. You can buy a $200 computer if you don't have one, because you definitely need one. You don't need to buy the state-of-the-art, fastest printer out there. You don't need to. You can buy one that will get the job done, get the documents printed until you make money. right? That's why I want to implore on you on this episode. Do not worry about getting all the things. And don't use that as an excuse either. That's another thing I wanted to point out. Don't use it as an excuse. Oh, I can't get started because I don't have the money for a printer right now. Well, then you know what? Go get your commission. Go to the dollar store, get a couple, buy some pens, buy some paper, and then go start doing some general notary work. Start doing some field inspections until you can make the money to do that. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want people getting into debt and hurting themselves financially and then saying, oh my goodness, I spent so much. I've heard this, not just in this business, but people getting into business. They just make the excuses. Oh, I spent all this money on getting started and I never made any money. Well, sometimes it's that sticker shock that throws people off. But I also want to sell you the dream, and not my dream, but I want to sell you the dream that in any business, not just in the notary world, not just in the signing agent world, but in any business that exists, there's somebody succeeding in that business already. And the failures come from the individuals for many different reasons. Maybe there's a lack of passion. Lack of work ethic is a big one. I was just talking with somebody and I was mentoring them. And I said, how often do you think about, he wants to start a restaurant. And I said, how often do you think about it? He's like, I don't know, I haven't really thought about it in a while. I go, then maybe you're not ready to start a business. Business owners get obsessed. I get obsessed. That's why it's a Saturday, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it's raining behind me. I'm actually a little cold sitting in the back of this van recording this, but I'm obsessed about the notary business. I'm obsessed about it. We just finished month end. I was having dreams of closings. I get obsessed about it. Maybe that's why I'm winning. I don't know. But I think a true sign of an entrepreneur is someone who gets obsessed about it, about what they're doing. That's where the passion comes from. You get obsessed about it. And I'm not saying you have to love everything about notary life, but once you start doing it, then you become passionate about it. You don't have to be passionate when you start. Like I'm passionate about motorcycles. Right? But I'm not going to start a mechanic shop. That's just not in it for me. I was not passionate about notary when I became a notary. But I am now. I became passionate about it because I enjoy it. It puts a roof over my family's head. It puts food on my family's table. So I've become passionate about it. It's helped me reach goals and dreams I didn't think I'd be able to do. And that's what I want to share with you here. Okay, about the mindset of an entrepreneur. The mindset about business and money and finance. Because interest, if you go into debt, you pay interest. And so interest either costs you money, like on a credit card, like on a loan, business loan, you're going to pay interest. Versus make money, invest money, and earn interest. How much I put away, how much I save every month, that's just what I save, right? What I invest in for my future is more than probably what a lot of people make in a month. I invest and save more than most people make in a month because I want to be financially smart. I do not want to work forever. I'm going to work my ass off now. But I'm paying the price now because I do not want to work forever. And that's just the mindset of rich people. This is not just my mindset, by the way. This is things that I've learned along the way, surrounding myself with successful people, listening and reading from successful and, I'll just say, rich people. And so that's who I try to surround myself with. Even if it's not physically I surround myself with them, but maybe mentally because I'm listening to their podcasts, I'm reading their books. I hope that makes sense. I hope you want to win. I hope you are striving to win in business, being smart financially as well. Because it's great if you're going to make a lot of money, but how much are you keeping of that money? That's a key indicator. You know, I mean, sure, I like when people are saying, "Oh man, it's so impressive how much money you make." But I want to say, you think that's impressive? You should look at my investment portfolio and see how much I'm saving. That's the really impressive part. It's not always about the clothes and the accessories and the cars, but it's what you're setting up for your future. And I'm just not looking for my future, but I'm looking at my future's future. I'm thinking about my grandkids and my great grandkids. I'm thinking about what I'm doing today, how that affects my grandkids and great grandkids. I want to leave a legacy behind for generations. And I hope you do too. Keep winning. Keep working hard. Keep knowing that what you're doing today is impacting the future. It doesn't have, whatever your goals are. So take action. Win big. You deserve it. I'm so glad you keep tuning in. I'm so glad that you're here with us. Because know that the world is better because you're in it as well. Talk to you next episode. Bye.